This is the rhythm of change. This is the sound of redemption. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise together.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
Hey guys, welcome to well, a new day, right? The dawning of a new era, right?
Yeah.
Post-Trump era.
Yes,
Uh, you
Lord.
know, um, I don't know. I can't even, man. I don't have the energy. Look.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's like Juneteenth all over again.
Oh God, look, listen, man. I see Negroes all giddy.
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I'm watching posts, man, and people are like, "Oh, my anxiety level is so down now. Anybody wake up this morning and just feel breath of fresh air and anybody ask and I
I did. I woke up feeling good. I woke up from a good night's sleep.
right, but you know what? But here's the thing again: feeling, feeling. That is what they're getting us on. Feeling,
Well,
right?
Eric.
But wait a
Okay,
minute.
go
Here's a
ahead.
question I want to ask you, Vincent. For all the
Okay.
people who feel good, are the debt collectors, have they stopped calling? All the people who are feeling good, are they riding home tonight and looking to see if the light is on or if the PSE&G got cut off? Right? People who are feeling good, do you got any more money in your account than you did the day before Biden was elected? I mean, was inaugurated? For all of the feelings,
Were you
right? Do
asking a
you not have
question?
to? No. Do you not have to still hide your car around the corner because the repo man is looking for it? It's feelings.
Well,
Feelings.
yeah. Well, here is some points on feelings. And the feeling everybody is sharing. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but let me speak for Vincent Squire. The good feeling is the recognition that change and that the change that you have hoped for is now beginning to begin. That good feeling of wow, we have survived this, and we are hoping for better. That good feeling of saying that you know what, from now on, I don't have to wake up and hear Donald Trump just did that good feeling of, you know what, now somebody is actually working on distributing this vaccine and put in a 100-day challenge, a 100-day mass challenge to get the numbers down. That good feeling that, you know what, I like to wake up and, they talk about the death count of last night, not hitting 4,000 dead a day. That good feeling of change, that same good feeling we have at the beginning of spring when baseball teams are at spring break, that same good feeling we
So
have
wait a minute.
at opening day
Wait,
and
wait, wait, wait.
kickoff of the
So I
NFL,
want to ask you a
that is
question.
what
So,
America is feeling.
so I want to ask you a question. You said that you heard something last night where the death rate is gone down.
No. I said that feeling of hope that, one
Oh,
day I like
oh,
to
that
wake
one day
up
you
off.
will hear that it's not hitting. Okay, I got you. I got
Yes.
you. So hope. Back to hope. Right? Back to hope. Call or go.
Hey, the audio, this is the audio engineer. Can't hear the people on the phone.
Oh, man, they missed that beautiful speech I made.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait.
you gotta transition up a little bit.
You.
Audio engineer said, turn it up.
Wait a minute. You can hear me, but you
Yeah,
can't
no,
hear.
I'm riding along in the, I can't hear the
Huh?
people
I'm
on the
looking
phone.
at the monitor, but you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
No. Okay. So I'm not. No, Diane. Diane. Diane, just if you don't mind, put in the feed if people can hear, because I'm looking at the I always look at the monitor, at the audio monitor, and the levels are high, and literally my phone is sitting right next to the microphone, so I'm not sure what that's about.
Well, you moved it, and it did just make an echo.
I'm sorry.
I said, I don't know what you did, but when you said the levels, it started to echo.
You hear an echo?
Not anymore. Not now. No.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I didn't touch anything. So I mean, I don't know what to do if you guys can, if you can hear me but you can't hear Vincent. Literally,
You're blessed.
the phone is actually closer to the mic than I am. That's the crazy part. Um, so I I got to look, man. Vincent,
Yes.
I I am so concerned. I posted something. Let me just go to what I posted. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if you saw it. I should tag you guys in the stuff so that you guys can see it when I post it. I said, because I was reading this stuff, um, and I said, oh, here we go. I said, now it's time for the Dems to lull us back to sleep, get us to hope and believe that there's really a chance for unity in a country that was built on and that has sustained itself by brutalizing, marginalizing, and dehumanizing Black Americans. We should always be at a heightened state of alert and in a constant state of rage. Quote, to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all the time. End quote, James Baldwin. We are all just like George Floyd, I said. America has had its knee on our necks for over 400 years. We cannot, we must not lose that perspective. And so when people say that they were anxious, right? That they were anxiety filled, and now they say that they can breathe. I'm going, no, you can't. America's knee is still on your neck. So to say you can breathe, you understand? You're losing perspective. And this is exactly what they want you to do. They want to lull you back to sleep. But nothing has changed. Listen, let me ask you this question. 74 million, some odd 100,000 people voted for Trump. Would you agree that they voted for Trump because they want something? Whatever that is, that they want something that's different from what Trump's opponent was offering.
Yes.
Okay, if you agree to that, wouldn't you call bullshit on Biden's speech about unity? Because the only way you can bring unity is, unless I'm wrong, the only way to bring about unity is one, convince those 75 million people that they don't really want what they said they wanted, right? Or two, give them what they wanted,
Well, okay.
right?
Let's look.
Yeah,
Can I answer that?
yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at as we talked about the 81 plus million who voted for Biden.
Correct.
And we said that one of the consensus in one of the surveys showed that they were either voting for Biden and his policies or voting against Donald Trump.
Got it.
So let's take that same ideology for those for the 784, which he's lost both the Electoral College and the popular vote, who voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So either they were voting for Trump or they were voting against Black empowerment.
Okay.
So let's look at that. And then let's talk about his speech on unity.
But you didn't. But you wait a minute. But you said let's talk about it. But you didn't
Can I
talk.
please get it out?
No, but you
Because
didn't
you
talk
didn't
about it. But Vincent, the reason I'm gonna tell you why I keep pausing you because you
No, why
don't
you
say
keep
anything.
interrupting me? Pausing me is
Well,
so
interrupting you. That's right, because you didn't say anything. You said let's talk about it, but you didn't talk about it.
Well, then if you don't pause me, I can get it out.
Go ahead.
Now, the speech on unity is a simple fact, and ideology is saying that we can come together because together we can accomplish great things. We can come together and we can put aside our differences for the common good. However, I think that Biden is smart enough to realize that they are ready to fight. And since they're ready to fight and negotiate, he now sits on the level of power because he has the House and he has the Senate. Can you dig it?
So okay, so you didn't answer my question. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I interrupted you because you didn't answer my question. Like, and as you were talking, I'm like, he's not answering the question. He's not answering the question. He's not gonna answer the question. And so now I got to go ask the question again after you said all of that. So here's my question again: can there be unity? Simple question, and you didn't answer it.
Ideological, there can be unity.
Where? How?
Well, there is unity in the simple. Well, there is unity in the simple fact that
Is it a simple fact? You say simple fact. Is it simple?
Okay, here is a simple fact, Eric, that fundamentally there can be unity.
How?
Yes.
How?
How can there be unity?
Yes.
Is that we put, as he said, put aside our simple differences and work together towards the common good.
Wait, okay, so wait a minute. So I want you to hear this. So understand what I just said.
Okay. Let's impact that.
So you've got understand the dynamic is a real dynamic, which is you have people who have and you have people who don't have. The people who have are not interested in giving up the shit they have. And the people who don't have the wherewithal to fight for the stuff that they need or that they want. And so now what you need to get in order for unity is the people who currently have their knee on your neck, you need to convince them to remove their knee from your neck. Right?
Well,
and wait a minute. And you need to do it. And you need to do it because nobody's talking about a struggle, a fight to do it, right? But these people have power. We understand that power is not given, right? It is taken. But you say unity. So how do you, if somebody's gonna take something from somebody else who has it, where's the unity?
Okay, now, can I answer?
Sure, you can.
Let's look at the simple fact of the people who have power and the people who don't. And let's look at the current events. The people who do have power don't do a darn thing except for point the people who don't in the direction and how to get the delusion of inclusion. Henceforth, the people who don't have the power yet are fighting for their quote-unquote power, which is called white privilege, storm the Capitol. The people who do have the power, in which those same group of people were met up against another group of people who wanted to change the narrative. The power is in the vote. It is not in the violence. But let's look at the most important thing. Both of the people who are fighting for either side still don't have power or their true power.
So Vincent,
what they're doing is fighting for the delusion or the ideology of let me empower him. So
okay, call it go.
I don't think Biden was talking to us. We got to understand that just because somebody's talking in our general direction, that don't mean they're talking to us. He's talking. My son my sons would get in trouble, I wouldn't talk to the one that was making the trouble. I would talk to the one who was sitting there innocently, because the one if I yell and scream at him, he ain't gonna hear a damn thing I said. So I talk to the one over here. It's like, look, you know, and then the other one over there, listen. But Biden is talking to the people, like Eric said, that people, look, never mind those people talking about racial justice. What we have in common is whiteness. And I'm going to narrate in Jim Crow language. They're going to fall for the symbolism. And me and you, we'll go on making all our profits and money, and everything will be good for us. And they'll just be happy with the little crumbs we drop down on the floor. So, and then the power, Eric, is, I disagree with you. Power is not taken. Power is knowing the formula. Positive and negative coming together to make energy. And we don't seem to be able to make the energy that move the needle in our community. We keep settling for symbolisms and crumbs. We got to come together, positive and negative, and move the needle. We can't take power. We got to know the formula for power and then go from there.
So
I disagree on that.
Okay.
So, I think, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jody. I think it's important, Eric, that, because I felt you, right? I on your post, I put hashtag high alert, and that is true, right? And I'm not one of the people, I was, so just for clarity, very glad that Trump is gone. Did feel like a new day that he was gone, but I'm not one that, the post that you're talking about where people were like, I was stressed. I wasn't stressed to the umpteenth power. I was like ready for that to move on, right? And now I would hope that most of us are not in a space where, we think there's a new day and we're going to dance in the street. But at the same time, I think that you should make clarity, right? That while you're on high alert and that your post was very poignant this morning, that it is not as if you are wishing to see the failure of the human, right?
Thank you.
You're aware that, or you're not fooled by, and you're not going to be left free to think that this union is all of a sudden changed. But I think it is important for us to say that, we want it to work. We want to see that because I'm sure that you want something to change, or you wouldn't be hammering at it for change, or definitely fighting against the law. That you're not going to be law that's complete. You want to see change. I think it's important that we say that we want to see that, and we're going to be mindful of that, and we're going to be on guard to see that some of these things come through. I don't think that we should have paid attention to the speech that Joe Biden gave about unity, but what happened after that in the rest of the day. I took notes during the first press conference. I picked up on what I feel like was some mixed messaging she was given, but I'm taking notes moving forward from this day forward on policy and honesty, and are they really going to be honest and tell the truth to America and give what they ask for? But I know that Eric Dawson does want to see change, right?
So yes, I want to see change, but what I don't want to see, Jody, and I'll use I'll use a chess analogy, right? So, if we're just moving pieces across the chessboard, but in the end, I'm still gonna be mated. I find no pleasure, right, or relief in just moving pieces across the board. So when I look at Trump being gone and Biden being there, but I understand the structure. So I understand the ruling class that exists, right? So when we really have the conversation, Mike, about power, right? It's with that ruling class, right? So all of these moves that are happening that make us feel good or feel bad or anxiety ridden or not or whatever, in the end, right? So when I say nothing is going to fundamentally change, because that guy, Joe Biden, if he's going to be honest with me, he's going to have a conversation with me about all of those people who put millions and millions of dollars into his campaign that he is now beholden to. See? See, that's the honest conversation, right? So when we talk about change, right? We talk about unity. I'm saying to you, you have power, right? And that ruling class that he see, and it, look, and here's the brilliance of the corporation white supremacy. They don't mind, like they've given him permission to go and say white supremacy. like he wins it. Can I say that? Yeah, go ahead and say it. Right? So he goes out there and says, white supremacy this, white supremacy that, white supremacy this. We got to end white. Why? Because it makes
Eric,
yeah.
hold on. Let me stop you there for a second.
Thank you.
I don't think nobody gave him permission to say white supremacy. I think it was the energy that was created and pressure put on by the people who's saying, I don't give a look, y'all think that white supremacy is a myth. We're telling you that white supremacy is here, and then when it showed up, he had no choice. That's the needle being moved on that. So, and then the millions that went into his campaign, we know money is speech. We have to admit, and see, most of us take on their language when it comes to money, and we end up losing money because we're speaking their language. We ain't speaking it for us. We got to speak it for us. It's not, the money is speech, and corporations are people. Until we understand that, we are speaking the wrong language. So we are going to profit on
So Mike, your belief is that these people who gave him money, who put all that money in, that they didn't, because
they gave him speech.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So they gave him speech. So they gave, and they in his speech, you don't believe? Do you believe that when he went out on his stumps, whoever was writing the stuff that he was writing, that they were crossing out words that were permissible, words that
were, in the beginning of his campaign, he said that was going to fundamentally change. We can't forget that.
Right.
We can't forget.
Right.
Yeah,
and so what I'm saying is this. So my belief is once he gave that nod, once he publicly gave that nod, right? Nothing's going to fundamentally change. Everything else after that, they permitted him to say. So then you say anything now, because you've already gave us the nod that nothing's going to change. So when we sit there and hear you say, when you start talking about tearing down white supremacy, all you're saying is harken back to what I said, guys. Nothing's going to change. I just got to say this. And I'm saying, and my belief is that they gave him permission to say it. They could have reeled him back.
You know,
Eric, here is what
you're doing, Eric, right, is to say that, so last week in a couple of conversations we had, we talked about how they won't say that word.
Who won't say it?
This week you're saying they won't, the establishment, for lack of a better word, or the Democratic Party or whatever you want to say, whoever, that they won't say that word, that, to utter the word white supremacy is something that just doesn't happen. Listen, it was the first time ever said.
Oh, no, that's not what I said. I said, no. If you remember, I was saying, man, they're out there saying white supremacy this, white supremacy, all over the networks.
But recognizing that that's something that they don't normally do, right? To hear that or know that the word white supremacy being uttered by the President of the United States was the first time it ever happened at an inauguration is something to think of, right? That because here's my issue, right? I am with you in the sense of don't be lost to sleep. Well, all that good stuff, right? But are you saying to me today that so no matter what it looks like, no matter what is said, that you're gonna always feel like we're gonna lose? Because that would be to say that.
What I'm saying to you is this.
You're just talking, but you're not
No,
expecting,
but
or you're not looking for, or you're not searching for to see that change.
no.
Well, and then let's look at he not even voted for the person who wanted to.
Well, wait a
bring
minute,
change.
but you asked me a question, right, Jody? So do
Okay.
That means he didn't vote for Biden.
right.
He
So
doesn't have to. We're beyond that, right? So we're beyond all of that, and that's my point.
right. So but what I'm looking at is this, right? I listen to the words, right?
Okay.
And I understand. So
Okay.
wait a
by
minute.
the
So
way,
no,
to
but
answer your question in terms of the people that you said that Biden is beholden to him, the Truth in Voting Act, they actually pulled the top 10. The largest one was $9 million by Donald Sussman, who is an investment officer. Next on the list is $7 million, and then $6 million, and then it goes $4 million, $3 million, $3 million, $3 million, $2.5 million, $2.5 million. It still doesn't come over a threshold where this group of people have enough power. He got most of his money from people doing the $5,100 donation of PACs, which are a group of people who get together like nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So of his $1.3 billion, they haven't even gotten to a marginal point to call those super donors or large donors 8 points on the billion.
so all right. So Vincent,
Minutia, right?
right? No. So let's stay. See, because when Vincent does this, when Vincent does this, he has me stand up off my chair. So Vincent, let's talk about. So we can and I can go and pull the elect reports and we can go through that, right? But let us not even look at those numbers. Let's look at the numbers that came in through the Lincoln Project, and let's look at the numbers that came in through these. But let's look at the numbers that came through these other organizations, right? How much money did the Lincoln Project spend?
They're not even on the radar in terms of that amount.
What? No. How
10.
much did they spend, Vincent?
No.
Because they are on the radar. They spent. No. Wait. No, because I want Vincent. You went and ferreted this information. So tell us now how much the Lincoln Project spent.
Okay, keep talking. I'll find that.
Yep.
For you.
There we go.
Here, let me just say this while he's looking. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The power of the money speech. We need to start talking about the voting block 2.0, 4.0, the power in that voting block that hit him in the rib, that made him say white supremacy up there. The only number I'm going to hold. I'm not going to talk about the billions of dollars. I'm going to talk about the 88% of vote that he got from us and keep hitting him with rib shots and keep making him talk about the conditions in our community, the police brutality, the environmental issues, the water, just the air pollution, the virus, all the inequities that's in our community. We just need to keep hitting them with these body shots. Never mind all that money. Don't even speak their language. Vincent is good at speaking their language. Go ahead, Vincent. Tell us how much money.
Well, no. Because Vincent has always said that we should continue to keep our foot on the gas. So
let's not be deflected with
we are not going to do and no, see, I don't want to deflect it with the money, but he's talking about the power that gave him big donations and how they are beholden to him. So does anybody consider the Lincoln Project a power that is anti-black or does anything against blacks?
No, I didn't say they were anti-black.
Okay,
he's talking about the money.
Okay, so in terms of the money, the Lincoln Project eventually raised $78 million from his creations until November 2020. By the end of March, it had raised an additional 2.6 million donated. Okay, and subsequently, from July to September, the Lincoln Project raised $39 million. So if they got $39 million invested in Donald Trump's behind, and if, quote unquote, the history repeats itself where the donors are the president is beholden to his donors, then black people should be really moving forward since the Lincoln Project is in there.
But that's the immature, politically immature aspect of and how you're going to look at this. Let's be politically mature. They think the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We can be enemies today, but we have a vested interest in getting rid of Donald Trump with politically mature way. We're going to get rid of him. We ain't going to tolerate him. So I'm going to put my money behind Joe Biden. It's such a disaster for the country that now we must be politically mature in how we look at these. Never mind, let's talk about the 88% people who voted for him. Let's get our interests met.
Let's talk about that. We never seem to hit the touch on that $81 million. 81 million people who voted for him, the highest votes of any president in history.
No. I look. So you got 81 million people who voted for him. My question, but get back to, so here's my question was, again, 81 million people voted for, so now, so you understand what you said. And so when I said what I said, and then you started to kind of get in the weeds, 81 million people voted for him. Those were your words. And I said 75 million people voted for Trump. And then you said, well, wait a minute.
4 million voted for Trump.
So, okay. I tell you, listen, man. Listen, Vincent puts tons of chapstick on his lips to get ready for the Democratic Party every time we do the show. So whatever the number is, Vincent. So 74 point whatever million people voted for Donald Trump. So my question at the beginning of the show was, how do you get unity? So you got 81 million over here that voted for Biden, 74 point whatever million that voted for Trump. People sat there yesterday. I talked to some black folk. They said they were in tears. They said they were crying. Couldn't hold back the tears. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm like literally, I'm going, really? So when I asked you again.
A lot of black people, as we said earlier, breathed a sigh of relief.
No. So I asked you again.
One of the symptoms of relief, or the sign of relief being let out of the frustration that we've been dealing with for 4 years, comes out in tears.
But what I'm saying is, that we've been dealing with this for 400 years, not for 4 years, 400 years. See, and that's what I'm saying. We lose perspective. 400 years, not 4 years, Vincent. 400 years.
Okay, so we have been dealing with this for 400 years.
Right.
Now, at this particular point, at this particular moment, for a lot of black people, their knee is off our necks.
Oof.
Now it's moved to keep it off. Now it's
so you can breathe. Wait a minute. So you can breathe. Wait a minute. So Vincent.
Now it's moved to get the knee off me being able to grow my business. Now it's moved to get the knee off this education so that we stop producing these little idiots. So now it's moved.
Vincent. So now we can
let our foot off the gas.
So
Vincent, sit up here and listen to the doom and gloom of what hasn't happened, or you undermine
I'm gonna pause you again. Vincent. So we can throw away our I can't breathe shirts?
Oh no.
You just wait a minute. You just
I said, and I will say it again.
Why are you yelling, Vincent? Vincent.
I said, and I will say it again. Do not take our foot off the gas.
No, you said that people feel like they've taken their knee off of our necks.
And like I said,
That's what you said.
And that does not mean that the whole world is equally yoked now in terms of America. That does not mean that there's still not racial injustice. That does not mean that there's still not food insecurities and black people dealing with financial insecurities. That does not.
Stop
mean
yelling.
That means
Stop yelling.
Means that
Yeah,
right
here
now
we
at
go.
this very
Here we
moment,
go.
his knee is off my neck, and I'm keeping my foot on the gas to beat his rhetoric down.
Jody.
Jody,
Wait. But I want to,
this
Mike.
is where we're going to go wrong. This is exactly where we're going to. We throw these phrases of symbolism of knee off the neck and pop, 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 pop. We are under some extreme pressures in this world, and
No, not in the world. So wait. But Mike, I want to be specific, right? We may be under extreme pressures in the world, but we're under extreme pressure here in America.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So when I say knee on the neck, I'm talking about the pressure. So if we want to talk about I'm saying that we are under extreme pressure. Right? And all of those pressures are still there. They're still there.
No, not all of the pressures are still there. Most of the pressures are still there.
When you say they're not there, explain to me exactly what something that has been lifted off in one day.
Okay.
I missed Trump already. I put him back where the hell he was. Explain it to me, Vincent.
Okay. Well, you just actually explained it to me. That one pressure of Donald J. Trump is no longer there.
Is Mitch McConnell still there? Hold on. Is Mitch McConnell still there?
Well, Mitch McConnell, see, we have...
Is Ted Cruz still there?
Would you let me answer the question? See, Ted Cruz is on his way. Ted Cruz is on his way out. If you haven't seen the news yesterday, Mitch McConnell was the first one to say, okay, Donald Trump started this insurrection. He instigated it. He organized it. And he...
But that's the brilliance. Wait a minute. Wait.
The Mitch McConnell that was holding up your $2,000 has now changed to the Mitch McConnell who is now turned up against Donald Trump.
But hold on. You said I ain't getting what I've been out here. I ain't getting nobody for the government yet. So I'm waiting for a while.
That makes two of us, brother.
So that
Okay. Well, the Mitch McConnell that fought Obama tooth and nail and held up the money for historical black colleges.
He's still there.
Well, that Mitch McConnell has now turned against the establishment and now siding with the Democrats. So that old Mitch McConnell, he may be disappearing, my brother. And it's a wonderful thing how the simple fact that when people come to the realization that they have lost power and possibly losing their job and prestige, how they seem to vote and cheer for the other team.
I would implore you. I mean this wholeheartedly and in love, right? I would implore you to stop the rhetoric, right? The rhetoric of partisan, right? You're making this about Donald Trump, the Republican, versus the Democratic Party and Mitch McConnell, and like they had like that particular party had their knees on our neck, and because they are gone or no longer in power in your mind, right? That now that knee has lifted. I think that's Eric's point in general, right? But that's not about. This isn't about party when you start talking about the oppression of the people, right? This is about the corporation, and Democrat and Republican,
Right.
And still fighting that. You're still fighting the election. I implore you.
No. I'm done fighting that election, baby. It's over.
Because you don't have to defend that.
That's right. That's right. We don't have to defend. We don't have to defend when we want. Okay.
Wait a minute.
In terms of Mitch McConnell, okay, and the corporation of white supremacy, we know from history. As soon as we get rid of one, they come up with another.
Wait.
And we know that. But now what I'm saying, in terms of us not letting our foot off the gas,
If it-
is when the next one show up, we play whack-a-mole and beat that mofo in the head too.
Vincent, who won? Wait. Jody, give me a second. He said we won. Wait a minute. I got it. See, we won. We sick.
We won. Okay, that's right. We won. Okay, and let me clarify the we who were voting for Trump to get out of office or Biden to win office, we won.
And Johnny, let me tell you what you got.
I'll stop doing the victory dance if you stop beating the heck down Biden.
I'm not beating down by. See,
Nobody's being bited down.
Not you, Jody.
wait a minute.
Nobody's being bited down.
Thank you. See, Mike.
You kidding me? Eric wake up in the
No,
morning.
Mike.
Eric wake up in the morning and start doing
Mike.
his blueprint of how
Mike.
I'm going to undermine and beat
No,
down
Mike.
the Biden
See,
campaign.
see.
It's only day 2.
No, see, Mike. See, this is what he doesn't understand. It's not about Biden. It's not about Biden. It's about a struggle. Now, Biden is the figurehead right now, right? So he's just a figurehead, right? He's the guy who's out there speaking all of this stuff. But I'm talking about the structure, and I'm saying that we're still in it. Now they have this guy who's out there saying, "Hey, you can relax," and "Hey, Vincent, wink, wink, you won."
No, we won.
We won.
We won.
Oh gosh.
And Vincent is not saying again for the 8th time. Vincent has always said that we should not and will not let our foot off the gas. Now, we know that we're still in a fight. But what I'm saying is that we should not sit up here and party and celebrate a victory dance because we've got other fights. We've only won a battle, and it's a big, long behind war that we're up against.
So, I don't know.
Only if you believe that you can teach old dogs new tricks is you think that what Eric is saying, who is going to unite? We can't get disillusioned because the man used the word unite and he
Right.
think he's talking about the
So
left
Mike,
versus the right.
but Mike,
He's
listen to
talking
what
about
Vincent just said.
cooperation of white
He
supremacy.
says we're in a
Gotta come
fight.
back together.
Right. So if we're in a fight, so look, I get it. Well, we can argue whether or not we're in a fight, right? So that's a whole nother, right? Because when you look at it from, you say, wow.
Let's look at, if I could, let's look at the history of Let's Unite and how black people got, as Eric always says, the crappy end of the stick. During the Reconstruction era, it was supposed to be Reconstruction and bringing black people to a level of empowerment. What Reconstruction was basically reconstructing the Southern, the white, the white superiority over the blacks. We got the crappy end of that. So we know what they mean when they say, okay, we need to unite. Now, so I don't know too many black people who are falling for that.
Well,
But
no.
we do know enough black people who says that, well, the way we're negotiating from is a position of strength. It's not the simple fact that we got to unite. It's the simple fact of them acknowledging that they're in checkmate.
So, oof.
Reconstruction was an attempt, policy-wise, to even the deal. But again, they fell into a law, and those policies were stripped away, which is the law that you're trying to convince people now to fall back into. Eric is saying, look, we have a chance here to build up on Reconstruction. Let's not fall into the trap that these jokers won't come together and create and compromise on what we need to build.
Of course, that's why we should not let our
But you
foot
gave
off
a
the gas.
half-baked history lesson on what
Okay, well, here is the other part of
was.
here is the other part.
But
of
Vincent, I gotta wait. But Vincent, Vincent, Vincent,
states rule, which
Vincent.
invoked them making Jim Crow laws.
Right, Vincent, I gotta ask you not to yell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
I'm
but
just
but like
look. Look, my bad. Look, I
yeah,
just knocked off my second cup of coffee,
yeah,
so I'm gonna tone it down.
yeah, yeah. Just okay. So um I I'm concerned. I'm concerned that far too many black people believe we won something.
We won the battle. We did not win the war.
Josh believes that too.
Huh?
He believes. I said it's strange that he believes that. Like it's a bit, and it just doesn't make like sense, right?
Okay.
So Vincent, let me ask you a question. Wait, Jody. I wanna ask Vincent a question.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead. Answer the question.
no, I got a question to ask Vincent, right?
And then Jody,
No,
I
Vincent,
like
Vincent,
to
Vincent,
dive
don't
into,
yell. Vincent, don't yell.
I'm
Vincent,
not,
don't
I'm gonna do this.
yell.
I'm going.
Vincent.
I'm gonna turn my mic down. Maybe
Okay,
that's
cool.
what it is.
There we go. So
Okay,
so
how's
here's a
that?
question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Blacks who fought in name all the wars that we fought in,
Every last one.
right? Um can did we win anything in those wars? We black people.
No, see, this is where that's a brilliant question. No one wins at war.
No. But no.
But hold on, Vincent, because you entered this into the topic when you keep saying we won. We didn't win the war. We won the battle. You keep throwing these phrases out there that people think, oh, we if we're in a war and nobody's fighting except we're getting shot at, we not going to win that war.
Brother, listen, if you don't realize that we're not in a war, black people are not in a war, then you are heavily immature because there are not too many white people who still are not acting as if the Civil War is still going on. We're in a war.
Only in your mind.
Only in my mind, really. So, okay. So, only in my mind do we have black people being shot because of white supremacy or white people wanting to exert their power or privilege. Only in my mind do me as a black man have to sit up here and be degraded by somebody who I make 5 times more than because he's white. Only in my mind do you as a black man have to have certain protocols and disciplines in terms of speaking your mind or getting your pay. So only in my mind does this happen? Only in my mind.
Don't yell. Don't yell.
Or only in my mind
Vincent.
are black people arrested at a 4 times greater rate and
Okay,
held in prison
so
4 times more than a white person. That's only in my mind.
So
we're not in a war.
okay, so Vincent,
That's only in my mind.
so Vincent, wait, Vincent, I'm gonna ask you again. You can wait, but Vincent, I'm gonna ask you again. Please don't yell. Like I don't understand why you can't have a conversation.
Only in my mind are black people disproportionately affected by this virus. We're not in a war.
You're confusing war with politics. You're confusing war with a way of thinking. Hold on, because you said that I'm immature.
No. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead, brother. Because I want to have clarity and understanding between the two of us so that we can come to some agreement that we can understand each other and our points and either agree or agree that we disagree. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me permission. You're confusing with a people that is only out of slavery for but so long. And a way of thinking, we've fallen into a mythology of what our existence is here in America. To improve those conditions, it's going to take some level of fighting. We understand that. But the majority of what our problem is in our way of thinking to destroy the mythology of people who see us less than. And when we stop thinking that they think we're less than and we lift our value of what we see each other in and come to a way of thinking to battle what we're up against,
You said battle, which means which implies war, correct?
A battle could be in a sport. A battle could be in different things in life. So don't hang on one word. Hear what I'm saying, brother. Hear what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk over you.
No, okay, go ahead, brother. I just wanted to clarify your definition of battle.
You're saying with the spiritual I understand that you might be, use the spiritual battle or whatever, but what I'm saying is it's in us to come together and know that we're a political force and think on those terms, and we will be with that people that are against us politically will stand down and stand by. When we think we're inferior and that people can continue to shoot us down, that's going to keep happening.
Brother, I got to tell you that I have no comment on what you said because I agree with it 100%.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We understand each other now.
Yes. And I think in some terms we are saying the same thing. Because I think it's just the terminologies which are dividing us. And I can put aside terminology for the spirit of the conversation and what you mean. And, when you put it that way, I realize, no, we're saying the same thing, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, in our language, we've been taught somebody else's language, and it's been used against us.
Yeah, which is why they still never made Kiswahili the national language in Africa. Because if you unite all those Africans in the same language, they are an unstoppable force. And the biggest thing that we have to realize is that when we come together, when we can be monolithic, when we find an existing project that we can focus our intellectual powers on and bring together the numbers that we represent, that we can eliminate one at a time. But let's work on eliminating all of these oppressions. Let's get these knees off our necks.
Right. So what I'm saying is this. I would much more appreciate if Biden spoke to us in a mature way and said, you're in a fight, Black America. And when you're in a fight to try to get some shit that's owed to you, right? You got to scrap to get it. And it's not about, that's what I'm saying, it's not about unity. It's not going to be through unity that we're going to get what we deserve, what's owed to us. It's not going to be through unity. And so for somebody to say that is just intellectually dishonest. It's not going to be through unity. I would prefer him say on guard, right? Yo, you know what I mean? Blow the bugle and let's go over the freaking hill, right? Because but to try to lull me,
I like it.
Try to lull me into believing that in this country, this ruling class is going to just sit down at a table, right? With some civility, right? It's just like, yo, okay, you know what? We've had enough of holding you down. We've had enough of dehumanizing you and brutalizing you. We've had enough of shoving, wealth into our pockets. We want to show some benevolence now. No, it's not going to happen like that. It's not. And so when I sit and listen to the rhetoric, right, does it sound good? Does it make somebody feel good? And if you listen to the commentators, it was all about, and then understand this too, like that, the speech he gave, and this is again not about Biden, but it is about the system. The speech he gave, somebody wrote it They spent time laboring over every single word to say, well, we're going to package it like this. We're going to present it like this. We're going to have the camera angles like this. We have the lighting like this to evoke this kind of an emotion. Right? And I'm looking at that going, this is theater. This is theater. And I want truth. I want to see, and now when I, like I said, when I looked on social media, they got exactly what they hoped to get. People crying, sighing, right? Just like, we won.
See, I think here's my take, and somebody please, show me the errors of my ideology. When Biden spoke on unity, it was not to lull black people into a false sense of security. I think it was maybe because black people already feel secure in which the position that they have. I think it was more to lull the white people into a false sense of understanding. It was, okay, you can work with me. I can give you the carrot or the stick. And now, either way, if you're looking at that dialect and interpretation, it means for them prepare for war or prepare for peace. But either way, I still win.
Can I say this?
I didn't get that at all. I'm sorry.
I don't have anything to say about that. I'm just messing. But I want to go back to what Eric said about the ruling. And I think that's what you're missing. The ruling class is got people in the classism like, when Biden used the word unite. Oh yeah, I'm up here, so my class is, I'm in that class with them, and it's a way of thinking, and we confuse and thinking that racism is dangerous. Classism is just as bad as racism in the sense that it will have you delusional about your condition. And see, we want our conditions to change so we can't get caught up in our classes siding with the ruling class. We got to clearly see what our conditions are and face them head on. Never mind what we are thinking that we're above it in our class. Well, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I agree with that. And when we get lulled into that false sense that our class is going to protect us, I can tell you with 100% certainty and a great deal of experience that no, it does not. We do need to come together and fight this and continue to fight this. Let's not get lulled into our little happy dance and celebration of this one battle.
Yeah. So we got to confront the ruling class. We must hold these people accountable. Just because Trump is gone don't mean the ruling class didn't create this mess. And
Preach, brother.
Hold these people accountable.
There you
Biden too, because see, Biden is a slippery slope. Because you can't teach that old dog a new trick. Where he is because of his habits of being the dog that he is, a blue dog. And see, if we get into this feel good thing that he's not close to the right or even further to the right than most Republicans, we're gonna be in big trouble here. So we got 88%. I'm gonna hold on to that. He got 88% of the black community vote. We got to keep hitting them with the body shot.
There you go.
Keep hitting them with the body shots.
And
make him understand that. Look, we understand with all your buddies and friends. Now you want to side with the insurrectionists. we can't. We got to pull them back left. We got to take them by the hand and come on over here with us.
But Mike, but when we say we have to hit them with the body shots, my concern as I saw the election unfolding, and I saw how black voters were being corralled, right? Who's gonna hit them with body shots? So you had whether you had in again we go to South Carolina, right? We talk about Clyburn, right? So
Okay.
so
Okay.
is Clyburn gonna hit him with body shots? Is
You
he
got
gonna
darn right.
wait a minute?
Hold on. This is how the body shot gonna look. We're gonna have to start showing up at Clyburn offices in mass as a black people. And look, go down there and hit them in the rib. We want this in our community. And same here in New Jersey. You gotta go down to whatever the congressman's name is. I ain't seen him in so long. I don't forgot his name. And you gotta go down there and hit him in the rib.
Tell him, brother, you ain't never open. Go ahead, brother, hit him.
So now
When you speak, and I try to remain quiet.
Oh,
I don't
I'm sorry.
scream over you.
I'm sorry. I'm excited about what you're saying. Go ahead, bro. Preach it.
I think I've written space in your head. You look good up here.
Well, look, I'd send you the bill for the rent, but you know they halted that in court right now. So go ahead.
But anyway, that's what it's going to look like. We can't just continue to give these people our vote.
so now but I want to say this, Mike. But under
That's what you're talking about.
right.
Okay.
But understand. But
Comment in regards to
oh, go ahead,
I
Diane.
think that sounds great only if we were already fighting on the local level.
Thank you.
Which we haven't.
Thank you.
Even the celebrations that you see people doing now is because they were guided into and told what to do. And they will continue to listen to them and be heard because they have not independently done anything on their own in their own community. People are now virtually and have been home since March, and people still don't attend the virtual council meetings or school board meetings. All you got to do is turn your computer on. People still don't attend. So nothing is going to change. And his speech and how he speaks and the people that write for him know specifically what to say to reel in black people to make them feel like I am working for you. And he's not.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
Mike.
don't know if he's not, but like we said earlier, it's a new dawn and a new day and a new strategy and a new awakening and understanding. As he said, let's get up there and start hitting them with some body shots. Oh, you ain't listening. Let me hit you again. Okay, so let them know. Like I said before, don't let our foot off the gas.
So Mike, so to the people going, so I want, and then we're gonna move on to talk about Dr. Chris Purnell, and I think I got the video to have the rest of the stuff play. But when you talk about this electorate going now against or holding Clyburn or any other Democrat or black elected official who was a part of this machinery that got black folks to come out and vote. If black folks were that conscious, like Diane said, they would be active in their individual communities, right? So they got them to mobilize for a national election, but they don't come out for the local elections, which says that there's an issue there, right?
Okay,
So
Mike, can I address this, if you please?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, Eric, let's not sit up here and feed ourselves the bullshit that's actually new. Black people have come out in droves for national elections, yet do very little for local.
I just said that.
As we said, it's a new dawn, a new day. Let us keep going and bring it down to our local levels as well. But
right.
Real quick, Nancy Pelosi just announced that the GOP came to her and said, okay, we want to unite with us on the insurrection. And she said, no, Trump and all the insurrectionists will be processed. They do not get a get out of jail free card. For a
right. So anyway, I want to get back to the statement that I made. Because again, all of that stuff that's going on up there, that's happening right now, That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Had a lot to
Nothing.
do with those black people who got arrested for the Black Lives Matter,
Right.
and they didn't have weapons, nor did they storm anything.
Right. But back to what I was saying, Vincent. So what we see. So when you say we won, right? So I'm just trying to keep focus. See, I'm saying Clyburn won, Stacey Abrams won. You name all of the different people who work to get folks to come out.
Eric, let me cut you right there. Stacey Abrams is in a whole nother class from Clyburn.
No. But what I'm saying,
Actually, grassroots.
but you no, but you
I mean, you lumped her in with a bunch of people
but you
yesterday.
but you're missing.
Stacey Abrams is actually doing what you're talking about doing, actually mobilizing and creating the energy and harnessing it. Clyburn is something that's establishment. I don't even see Stacey Abrams as establishment. But go ahead.
So
Brother, I got to love what you're saying today, bro. Whatever you did today,
all right,
to get you to talk this way, keep doing it.
So
Oh, Vincent, stop.
yeah. So
Your responses to Diane said was really not a response, right? You just put back on like that chicken circuit. We's are doing good, Master, and we's the one this morning. It had nothing to do with Diane's statement about because if you can recognize and admit that we haven't even gotten to the clarifying or doing right by our local elections, right? Then what did we win this morning?
Okay, Jody.
You just got like these quick commercial responses, and this conversation has to be greater than those little snippets like us becoming annoying, right? Diane basically said, how did we win, right? And we, with all that's happening, we're supposed to have all this power this morning, and we still don't, during COVID, with our children being locked in, and our parents dying, and the numbers high, and Eric's going to go, so I'm trying to give it to you like this 2-year-old, and we don't go to meetings, and we don't wear masks, and we don't, all through the community, right? But if we haven't gotten there, then how do we, one, haven't won, right? And how can we expect that same block of voting bodies for the purposes of your conversation? How do we expect to win this thing, right?
Okay, well,
we's the one, and then I don't know. The brother said something, and thank you, Master, because we's the one. Like that. You didn't even speak to what Diane said, or you wouldn't have felt like a winner.
Well, here, if I
The response of we's the one still.
Well, Jody, if I could. Now, see, I believe of two things. First and foremost, I never say we and Master unless I'm singing Negro spirituals. The second thing is that you did not hear. Well, let me finish. Let me finish, Jody. The second thing is that you did not hear the comments by myself and Mike. Okay. So if you heard that, and I stated that let's not feed ourselves a bunch of BS because we know that blacks only turn out in massive numbers for national elections and do very little local. And then he complimented by saying that Stacey Abrams is doing what we should do. Get out there on the local and organize. Get out there and talk to people. Get out there and move. That's how we...
Right? That's not his answer wasn't to Diane. His answer was to Eric about something totally different, right? I want to get you back to Diane, right? Diane said that statement, right? You can't say we won, or, okay, now we just got to get to that. I just want you to
again, when Diane made that statement, the term we won didn't come out. You weren't listening, or you're twisting this to make it seem like I'm inept. Which I'm Jody, I'm really having I'm really feeling some kind of way about what you're doing.
yeah, you just talking over her and talking over her. So what? But understand this. You what?
this morning, I get it, right? I guess. I'm not, okay, whatever.
Right.
Like, you need to, because then it it takes away from the club. And that honestly, it's like we're all over the place, right? So Eric asked that question this morning. You went all over the place. Diane asked the question, right? That was pointed to your point, right? Because I just need you to say that we didn't win. I mean, we won an election. I mean, I guess whoever voted Democrat, right? We won the election, right? I need you to know that. Right?
Okay, Jody, did you hear me say that we did not win the war, we won the battle, and that we should keep our foot on the gas?
Okay, so I'm going to keep, because I'm not Eric and Diane, right? I'm going to keep asking you, so translate the battle to me.
Okay, we won.
For me, what battle did we win?
Can I talk?
Yep.
Okay, we won the battle of getting Trump out of office and Biden in.
I mean, a battle.
That was a battle. That was a battle. Really? Trump got up there with the gang that couldn't sue straight and not sued for the election in the entire states, but sued for the results to be reduced in the black populated areas of those states. We won that. Okay? Trump got
Don't yell.
And
Don't yell.
so bad with the black suppression that he went on the internet and started marketing black men who didn't have the proclivity to actually look at a newspaper. We won that battle, not the war, because the war of systematic and institutional racism still exists. Let us keep our foot on the gas and go to the next battle.
So
does that answer your question?
So what I'll say is this.
And
Wait a minute.
And when I say the next battle, not just national, not just the presidential, but local.
So
and Diane's right when she said that people don't come to
all right,
Zoom
Vincent, you got to stop yelling. But what?
I'm not yelling.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
What was the battle in 24 hours that you're claiming, right? Honestly, I can't even go through everything you said, but like I needed a tangible, kind of like when you said that we had the equal playing field yesterday, and I'm like, well, how do you translate that into something tangible, right? And again, I'm listen, I'm your student, and I get your excitement, right? But you still haven't given a tangible to what that battle is, and if you feel like you have, then henceforth the problem. So why we don't ever get forward, because we kind of like make these statements that sound good and they're snazzy, I guess, to some folks, but it's not tangible.
Well, here it is.
Vincent.
Was posed, right? And the Democratic Party won that election, and I'm all great and so excited that we got rid of Donald Trump. Right? But I do recognize this morning, right?
Was that not a victory then?
Excuse me?
You can't acknowledge the simple fact that getting Donald Trump out of office was not a victory of a battle.
Not for our community.
Not for us. That's what she's saying. So somebody won that. We
and he had the corporation in his suitcase, and all of the corporation and all that it means against us and all that it does against us, right? Then we might have won a battle. Or we might have thought we won a battle.
That's what I'm saying. That is the battle that I'm talking about. We won. Now, in terms of the
so Vincent. So here's what I think, right? I think that we were enlisted in a battle, right? Hear what I'm saying to you. We were enlisted. We were deputy, all of that, right? We got in there. We had our bayonets and we had our whatever they gave us to go fight with, right? So we did that. So we were enlisted in the battle, but when the battle was over, right, we didn't win anything.
No, we didn't.
That's what she's saying, Vincent. So yes, Donald Trump was vanquished. Biden is in office. So that all happened. And so now we go back to my conversation about the ruling class, right? So all of this is going on. We didn't win anything. We're sitting here, like you said, it's like Juneteenth all over again, right? We're dancing and celebrating, right? And we didn't win anything. Our neighborhoods still look like shit. Our schools still look like shit. We didn't win anything. We still got 1/10 of the wealth of our white counterparts. We didn't win anything.
Well, we did. Well, what you call we won nothing, another person calls it moving the needle.
Okay.
Moving that. Now, in terms of us, all the crap, all the things that you so eloquently listed that we do not have, now we have an opportunity to obtain that in the next battle. If we can organize to win this, then we have the same model that it takes to win.
Oh, you know what? Perfect. So this. Wait a minute. No. Mike, one second. This is perfect because what I'm saying to you is this, and this is the brilliance of the corporation white supremacy. To your point, Vincent, yes, there's something else down here, but they're not going to organize us for that. See, they organized us for this thing that benefited them, but the thing that you're talking about that could benefit us, they're not going to organize us for that. They're going to.
Here is the thing. See, the corporation of white supremacy, since they therefore lost that battle, organized their
wait a minute, who lost the battle? Wait.
Privilege to go and take it by force, in which they lost that too.
Wait a minute.
They tried to take it by court.
Wait a minute.
They lost that
Wait
too.
a minute. Wait, Vincent.
And let's make it perfectly
Vincent.
clear. The corporation of white supremacy is not going to do anything that is advancing us.
Vincent.
So saying that they put Biden in track to win is.
Vincent, wait a minute. You just said the corporation of white supremacy lost something? What'd they lose?
They lost they just lost their poster child.
No. Vincent. See, you're in this partisan election again.
And now Moscow Mitch is turned to Black America Mitch.
See, Vincent, you're thinking too micro. Wow. You're too micro, right? Like you really think
Micro. Look, can y'all get an actual gauge on me? 1 minute I'm talking over your heads, and now I'm talking.
Oh no, you're never talking over my head. Let's be clear about that. Right? You're never talking over my head. What I'm saying.
You way up there.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you, Vincent, is this. You keep.
Did you see it fly over there? There you go.
So, Vincent, every time you bring the conversation back to Trump, lets me know that you don't really understand the ruling class and the conversation we're having about that. And when you make a statement like corporation white supremacy lost, I go, you really don't get it. You don't get it. They didn't lose anything.
Well, you know, Eric, every time I hear you repel any conversation that deals or any terminology that deals and refers to Donald Trump getting out of office, and I hear the disdain in your voice about that conversation, lets me know that you are truly not as a black nationalist that I thought. Any time that you will not say anything to acknowledge and support the black plight, anytime that you would undermine people who are right now pushing to move our agenda.
Let him go, guys. Let him go. Let him go.
The biggest anti-black. I'm thinking,
no, let him go. Let him go.
Secretly, Eric, do you have a hood? Do you got a white hood in your car, bro? Yeah.
Right. So so wait, no. So no. The reason I said let him.
Help me out.
Mike. I don't.
I really get a disdain for the
Big bruh.
anti-Biden rhetoric and don't talk about Trump.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute, Mike. Let me say it. So Mike.
A lot of people think that man is
Mike, thank you. Mike, wait a minute. So once again, Vincent. Yeah, give me the opportunity, please. Please give me the opportunity, and I'm gonna ask you for the. I'm gonna ask you for the. Wait a minute, Mike. I'm gonna ask you, Vincent. I don't know how many times I gotta ask you not to yell, but I'm gonna ask you again not to yell, right? So the fact that you.
I think I owe Diane $10.
Okay, are you gonna let me? So the fact that you think I'm anti-Biden says to me again, you don't get it. See, the fact that you said that, the very fact that you said that says to me that you are such a micro thinker in this thing, right? The fact that you think my conversation is about Trump and Biden says to me you don't get it. My conversations.
Then give me clarity.
Well, but I've been trying to, but because you keep yelling, because.
Why are you so anti, or that you're giving the appearance.
But you asked me a question and then you talk over me.
He was not anti.
He said, yeah, but that wasn't a conversation for the last 2 months.
No. It's
This is diversion.
no.
Diverting to something else.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what I'm anti? No, know what I'm anti? I am anti the corporation of white supremacy. There we go.
This
Right? So I'm anti the corporation white supremacy. And what I've said to you all along, Vincent, right? But you hear what you want to hear. Is I say both parties are equal wings of this dirty bird. I've had that conversation. Right? To Jody, when she talks and we talked about Trump, I said we can talk about Trump all day long. But like Professor Eddie Glaude said, and because I think he did it so eloquently. He said he's easy. He's easy. It's the other stuff. Because once you get into the other stuff, then you got to do some gut checking yourself, right? Because there was a guy who had a shirt on, I saw on social media. It had Democrat, Republican, black, right? And it had a check box by each of them. And he had black checked, right? Because then that's the gut check you do, right? That I'm not Democrat or Republican, I'm black. I'm black. But see, you bring it back to Biden or Trump. Democrat, Republican. I'm looking at this thing through a whole different lens. And so that doesn't give me the opportunity, because of the lens I look at it through, to say I won anything. I didn't win anything. My people didn't win anything.
What I'm saying is that the lens that you're looking through gives me the projection of that lens, of it being undermining the present administration, where you are actually not happy that he won because you think he's a great candidate. You're happy that he won so you can point out his upcoming failure.
No. I'm happy. No.
Somebody dealing with the reality of what things is. Excuse my English. Somebody dealing with the reality of what things are is not anti anything. Eric is dealing with the reality. What I hear is he's dealing with the reality of not a victory that Biden is in power now. Let's deal with our conditions require that we deal with our reality.
Thank you.
Not us taking a position. You have taken a position, and let me ask you this, Vincent. If you had to categorize yourself, your political, what political category would you put yourself in? Are you a capitalist? Are you a environmentalist? What?
I'm a capitalist.
Okay, that explains it all. See, you are actually corporation of white supremacy.
But actually, but if you could allow me to answer your question.
You did answer it. You said you're a capitalist.
You did.
You answered it.
So let me finish. Which is why you continue to deflect and want to make Eric anti-Biden or anti-this or anti-that. Your stance is that you're a capitalist. Let us know that you are corporation, you're for the team. You are corporation white supremacy. That's all we need to know.
Okay, well, I can't understand how you can get that analysis, and that's a total another show of how you actually achieved it. No, please let me. Now, because I'm a capitalist and an entrepreneur and a businessman, because I studied business school, I understand the subtle nuances of finance, economics, and economic growth and development. But because I am a capitalist does not make me not understand that we need social policies. Because I'm a capitalist does not make me ignorant to the fact of systematic racism. Because I'm a capitalist does not give me a blind eye to what happens in the black community in terms of our unfair justice.
It's gonna sway your way of thinking. The first thought is gonna be on the money you're gonna
Right.
No. Somebody else is gonna gain at my loss.
No, let me finish. Because you want to put me in a capitalistic profile of your understanding is not the true reflection of me.
Wait.
That's just like putting me in a stereotype that I'm a black man and that the only thing I love is watermelon and fried chicken.
No. So wait a minute. So wait, Mike.
That does not put me a black man.
Don't yell. Don't yell. Don't yell. Don't yell.
I am over listening to them.
Vincent, you gotta stop yelling. You gotta stop yelling.
Because I'm a black man does not make me the lover.
Right. So here's the thing. Wait, Diane.
Okay, here's the thing.
Right. So listen to this. Dr. King said that he had to revisit his thoughts about capitalism.
Because he was a Republican, yeah.
No, not because he was a Republican, but because of what was happening. And so he said, no, I can pull the quote up.
Okay.
So he said to his wife, he said, I have to revisit this. And so he declared democratic socialism. Right? So I think that what Mike is saying is that when you view things through the lens of capitalism, right, then you realize that you win at the expense of others, right? And that is the prism. And so if Mike had asked me that question, no, I am not a capitalist. I am at heart a democratic socialist.
Well,
at heart.
hey.
So and I'm an entrepreneur, right?
But wait a minute, and you're an entrepreneur,
right?
And so based on what you said about capitalism,
hold on. See, you talk down on me about my understanding of what it is, but you are expelling your misconception of what entrepreneurship is.
Oh, really?
Entrepreneurship is, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It has nothing to do. Your bottom line as an entrepreneur, your personal business, your and paying taxes to contribute to a larger cause has nothing to do with you at the expense of the world, of the planet, destroying everything.
Really? So what makes you think my little business and what I do destroy the world and everything? And let me break another thing down for you, brother.
No. What's in my head, Vincent?
No, that's what you said. That is what you said. One thing you have to correct.
One thing that's not what I said. You took it, and that's what you heard.
Right.
Your misconception of what I said came back to me. You see, you being a capitalist and as opposed to a democratic socialist is two opposite things. You're misconstruing entrepreneurship with capitalism.
So me being a black man who can play ice hockey and soccer makes me not a black man?
It's not about race.
Yeah, I don't get that. So wait a minute, stop for a second. Nope, stop. Nope. So wait a minute.
Yet the biggest philanthropists right now are capitalists.
Wait a minute, stop for a second. So what has happened now is this. It has become personal for Vincent, right? Because he made a personal attack to me, right? Which said to me when he did that he was taking things personally. So when you do that, right, we're not able to have a constructive conversation anymore, right? So I want to move away from this. And I want to move to Dr. Chris Purnell. But before I do it, this is why I warn about these anecdotal things, right? Because once you throw your anecdotal stuff out and then it is confronted or challenged, and then you take it personally, then it shrinks the conversation down to you, watermelon, chicken, being black, ice hockey skating. right? Which is like, has nothing to do with the original thing that I was asking, which had to do with the corporation of white supremacy, this election, the power, the corporate or the ruling class, and whether or not there could be unity, right? We went from that to ice skating and being black, right? Well, I just want you to understand that. That's why I try to stay away from anecdotal stuff, because then we get down to like some crazy like stuff that makes no sense. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can pull up Dr. Chris Purnell, and we'll do this for the next 40 minutes. And then again, like I said, guys, Mike is live, so just say pause when you want to, and then we can discuss it. She's talking about COVID-19, and then before I do this. She's going to be hosting something today at 3 o'clock. I'm going to post it on my page as soon as I find the link, and then make sure you guys check out what she does today too. But here we go.
Coronavirus, that you could be left with a long-term side effect or adverse effect because of coronavirus, and the risk of death are all more than the risk of having an adverse reaction. I use a different word. You heard that. Side effects, normal. Side effects, common. Adverse reaction, that's what we're going to talk about. Who and who should not get injected. But first, I want you to see Moderna before we say that. Okay, so second. All right, this is Moderna. Reported side effects of the Moderna vaccine. Again, pain. It hurts. I don't know if you've had tetanus. Tetanus hurts, right? Tetanus hurts more than the flu. So I definitely got pain in my arm. It didn't stop me from going to work. It didn't stop me from raising my hands, okay? So 74% of people who got Moderna got pain in their arm. On the first injection, 90% got pain on the second injection. Approximately 39% of people who got Moderna got fatigue on the first injection. 8% almost got fatigue on the second injection. I had that experience. My second injection, I got it early in the morning. And by the end of the day, I could barely get out of my car. I felt exhausted, okay? It took me about 20 minutes to get out of my car. By the next morning, I was able to go about my activities. I was doing a task force meeting for Essex County in Newark, right? So it didn't stop me. I had headache for about 2 or 3 days, okay? But never to the point where I had to go to the hospital, or never to the point where I couldn't do my activities on a consistent basis. So I think it's very, very important that we say that, okay? So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see me, and we can have a conversation. All right, so I see some of the questions that people have begun to ask. Okay, so Cassandra Belton, I see that you asked, what side effects are expected after being administered the vaccine? Those side effects that we just went through, okay? So the most common side effects, and again, side effects are normal. Side effects means that your immune system is working. Think about it this way. When you go to the gym, when you work out, when you lift weights, you are sore the day after. And it's not because you've hurt yourself. You're sore because the muscle is working. The muscle is going through that expansion process, right? And that causes pain. Okay, so this is your body working out. The immune system is working out. Okay, so you feel pain. That means it's reactogenic. That's a word you might hear people say. This is a vaccine that's reactogenic. You get side effects from it. Okay, so you'll feel pain. You could get redness. You could get even swelling. That's what the majority of people all experience. You saw those rates, whether it was Pfizer or Moderna. The other thing, fever, but not as common. Not as common, but I have to say it because I hear people, they text me and say, hey, I got a fever. Am I okay? Yes. Fever can be expected. It is normal to get it after a vaccine. This vaccine, because it's reactogenic, it means your body is working. The immune system is working. Fatigue. So other than pain, fatigue is one of the most common symptoms. Most persons encounter fatigue. But none of these symptoms last so long that you can't return to your baseline. For me, like I said, the headaches lasted longer than the fatigue, and the headaches lasted about the same amount of time as the pain. for a couple of days, about 3 days. And then I took ibuprofen for it, occasionally Tylenol. I went to work every day. I never stopped doing my job. Some people feel very sick. They get fever and chills, but it's usually gone in 24 to 48 hours. Okay, that's the side effects. I see a question. Hi, Tanaya. I see a question about any insight to how likely the mutation will affect the effectiveness of the vaccine. Excellent question. So let's talk about the effectiveness of the vaccine again. All right. So I said earlier, and I want to mention this again, both Moderna and Pfizer are roughly 95% effective. What does that mean? That means when we mean the scientific community, no, Dr. Chris didn't run the study. Okay. When we were doing the late phase trials for both of these vaccine candidates, all right, you looked at the arm of people who got placebo, meaning just saline, and you looked at the arm of people who actually got the vaccine. When you looked at those two arms, the majority of cases of coronavirus were in the placebo arm. So in the vaccine arm, it was 95% effective at preventing it. It was almost 100% effective at preventing severe disease. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we say 94.5 or 95% effective. That is unheard of. I have to keep emphasizing that. That is a result of the messenger RNA technology. Okay, now RNA viruses mutate. Okay, some of them mutate very frequently, and some of them don't mutate as much. For instance, an example, the flu virus. The flu virus mutates, and that's why every year you have to get a vaccine. And it's an educated scientific guess or estimate of which strain will be most prevalent in the community. Okay, so what about these mRNA vaccines? What we know so far, Tananya, is that the variants that we've seen, yes, they are more transmissible, meaning easier to spread from person to person. We don't know that they're necessarily more deadly, although a new variant has just emerged, and we need to do some more scientific study of it. But there is nothing to date to suggest that the vaccines won't work. Why? And Dr. Kizzy or Dr. Kiznikia Corbett, if you are on Twitter, please, please, please follow her. This is the Black woman scientist that I told you was a part of designing this. And it's important that I emphasize that social and cultural fluency is important. And so I love how she said it. So what you see happening is you get mutations along, right, the protein. Think about it, mutations along the spike protein. But it's not happening in such a way that the neutralizing antibodies can't bind. So where you might have a mutation, think about it in A, B, you don't have a mutation in C, D, E, or F. So the neutralizing antibodies can still bind. It's a polyclonal antibody response. Multiple types of antibodies, neutralizing antibodies, are generated by the body. And so to date, what the science is showing us, and Pfizer has gone back and has done additional research on this, and I believe Moderna has as well. They've taken some of those variants and they've tested the vaccine against it. You're covered. It works. Okay? So that's that question. You mentioned who shouldn't get the vaccine. The persons who should not get the vaccine is if you received the first dose of Pfizer or Moderna and you had an allergic reaction. An allergic reaction meaning you got hives, an allergic reaction meaning that your skin went red, an allergic reaction of the most severe type is anaphylaxis, life-threatening, meaning you can't breathe. Your throat swells up and a person can't breathe, okay? If that happens to you on the first injection, you should not get the second injection. All right, second group who should not get the vaccine. If you have known allergies to any of the ingredients of the vaccine, you should not get the vaccine. You shouldn't even get the first injection, okay? Ingredients in the vaccine, the messenger RNA itself, right? The instruction and the blueprints, okay? And polyethylene glycol, PEG, think about as the fat. That's what you put that messenger RNA in, because messenger RNA is unstable. And you want it to remain stable so it can get into the cells. It can take the instructions and tell the machinery in the cell cytoplasm, make protein. But if it breaks down before it can tell the cell to do that, it's not any good. Okay? So that's why you have it and that polyethylene glycol. So there's messenger RNA in the vaccine. There are lipids or fats, is another word for fats, in the vaccine. There are salts in the vaccine. There are sugars in the vaccine. And all of that is around making the vaccine more stable. Okay, there are differences in the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines. I don't want to get into that today, but I can give you links about it. Pfizer, the cold chain, the pathway for Pfizer is more complex. It has to remain colder. Moderna doesn't have to be as cold as Pfizer. That's why Moderna can be at a doctor's office. Moderna can be at a pharmacy. Okay, we have other vaccine candidates that are being worked on that won't have those same requirements around storage or handling that Pfizer and or Moderna have. Okay, Michelle, I'm reading yours, but you had drug and vaccine allergies. What should I do to make sure I'm safe when I take the vaccine? Okay, right. So you should have a conversation with your doctor.
I want to pause right there. You want to have a conversation with your doctor. So
Good. I would say that because normal people would not know everything that they may be allergic to.
right. And then a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people don't go and talk to their doctor. They go and they sign up for the vaccine. And then this is the challenge, guys. You'll have somebody who will have an adverse reaction or an allergic reaction, right? And then you get the anti-vaxxers who come and go, they use that person as a poster child. See, this is what the vaccine does, right? That's what they do. And so, and then it could be that person, that individual had an allergy to something in the vaccine, or that person could have just had an adverse reaction, which
Yes.
which they don't, it's not a what did she say, a side effect, meaning something that they anticipate. It's an adverse reaction, and there are adverse reactions, and people will have them. And when you do have it, what do they say? Stop it immediately. Go see your doctor, right?
Or in the case of the nurse who took it, she has adverse reactions. She's allergic to the point of carrying an EpiPen.
Right, exactly. But the confusion is because of the fear, right? That people have because of the post-traumatic stress disorder that folks are living with, and because of the confusing messages that are out there coming from people, and this is the thing, and this is the sad part about these anti-vaxxers. A lot of the people that they're talking to held them in, or probably still hold them in high regard, right? Value their opinions and thoughts about things. And that's what makes it really sinister that they're using that relationship that they have with the relationship that was built on trust. They're using that relationship to profiteer at the expense of that individual.
Oh, well, by the way, the New Jersey anti-vaxxer was arrested for being at the insurrection at the Capitol. So, yeah, she's following that certain mindset based upon ignorance.
Yeah. Yeah. So
there's a pause usually, Vincent. We're trying to hope that you'll stop, but you keep going because that has nothing to do with the video.
Yeah. I don't know who.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, well, listen. Any anti-vaxxer that's arrested, I'm happy. just.
Oh, God. See, now somebody's gonna say that I said that, and that's gonna start that all over again.
Yeah, I don't know who. I don't know who it was, but you know what? They they're dangerous. Hold on, we got a call. Caller, go.
Hey, yeah, I had to hang up for a minute there. But now, getting back to the video, she's saying 95% of people, the COVID will be prevented. Is she talking about the symptoms? Can you get the virus after taking the vaccine? Because when they use percentages, she wasn't clear on, and she said yesterday, what I heard was that the vaccine was just simply slow the virus down.
No, so what she said was that what the vaccine does is the vaccine teaches your body how to fight against the virus. Right? That's what it does. That right, that it has a blueprint, and it says to your body, when you see this, when you see something that looks like this, you need to respond. You need to fight. Right? So that's what the vaccine does.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So it's not. It's the virus is still contracting. You can still contract the virus like you do.
well, you can go ahead, Vincent.
You can still contract the virus, but what it does is it fights the virus so that you do not die, or I'm sorry. No, you can't contract the virus.
No, stop. She never addressed whether you can get it again after having the vaccine. She has not addressed that yet.
Correct.
All right. Well, so my next question is if you can still get it, can you still pass it on?
Well, I'm assuming like any other vaccine or some vaccines, some make it so you don't get it. Some have it so that if you get it the second time or third time around, it's not as severe. But she has not addressed that at all yet about getting it the second time and having the vaccine. They haven't talked about any studies about that yet.
Well, because actually, and the reason that they haven't is because they actually just started getting it out, and there hasn't been cases to solidify your point.
I understand that we're still under emergency use. This hasn't been through a serious trial study. We all understand that. I would hope that we all understand that. My question is, can you still contract and pass the virus to somebody else after taking
Right.
it?
She did answer. She did address that. She said that they are currently still researching that.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But looking at their tests, they did.
Answer the video, Eric.
Looking at the Pfizer test, they did say that the vaccine has an ability to repel the virus. I mean, it doesn't stop the virus from coming to you. It does stop the virus from hurting you.
Right. Severe condition. 95% of the time. 95% of the time.
95%.
You will not suffer from severe conditions.
Correct.
Conditions.
Correct. Here we go.
But I hope this, we still putting emphasis on testing and precaution.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have to continue to do that. And I think toward the end of the video, we'll get to the end of her video one day, Mike. But she does.
Right now it's 11:55.
So we're gonna do a couple more minutes of it. Here we go.
Okay, you should definitely, even if it's not an immunologist, anyone you're under the care of, you should have a conversation with, because you need to know what specifically in those other vaccines that you took, what were you allergic to? What component of the vaccine were you allergic to? If you were allergic to the eggs, there aren't eggs in this vaccine. That's something else I get asked. People ask me, is the vaccine vegan? So there are no eggs in the vaccine. This is the messenger RNA, salts, sugars, and the lipids. Okay? And so you can have food allergies and still get the vaccine. You can have allergies to other types of vaccines and still get this vaccine, as long as the ingredients in this vaccine are not the things that you are allergic to. When you get vaccinated, you should be vaccinated at a facility that has an EpiPen if you have a history of allergies, okay? Whether you have food allergies or whether you have allergies to vaccines, you should. That's part of the safety protocol, right? They have epinephrine on hand. Epinephrine is administered through the EpiPen, and that in particular prevents the anaphylaxis, that life-threatening closure of your throat. How do I get in line for the vaccine when I don't have a doctor? Okay, so 1A, 1B, and 1C. 1A, again, I'll just say in rough, the CDC comes out with these guidelines, right? And then it's really up to the states, Michelle. Each state can then specify which groups are eligible for the vaccine. So 1A, healthcare workers, first responders, 1A, people who work in funeral homes, 1A, people who live in long-term care facilities, people who work in long-term care facilities, 1B. 1B, the federal government changed because 1B originally was going to be 75 and older. Then the federal government made it 65 and older, which it should have done from the beginning. And it said you can be younger than 65, meaning you could be 16 to 64. And this is to your question. I saw Jay Petty's question, can children or toddlers be vaccinated? No. Pfizer study adolescents, and hear the different term I'm using. Pfizer studied adolescents 16 and 17. So if you're 16 or 17, can you be vaccinated? Yes, with Pfizer. Moderna studied 18 and older. You cannot receive Moderna if you are younger than 18. You can receive Pfizer if you are 16 or 17 because the clinical trials, the late phase trials, specifically studied persons in those groups. Okay, and so Michelle, going back to you, in 1B, we have people who have more chronic conditions. And so in that, the 16 to 64 group, chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes, COPD, chronic kidney disease, you have people with heart disease, you have people with certain immune conditions in certain states. Yes. Right? I believe you might be in California, Michelle. Michelle and I went to Princeton together. I believe you might be in California. I'm actually disappointed with how California has rolled out the vaccine. And I'm hopeful that as we continue to have these health equity conversations and we have these allocation schema conversations, that we can be more aggressive in pushing the vaccine out, right? Because 1C gets into the CDC differentiated between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes, which I was actually surprised by, that they didn't put type 1 diabetics in 1B. So there isn't consensus around some of the groupings, but it's my hope with this new administration and the impetus to vaccinate at least 1 million people a day. We'll need to do more. We need to get closer to 2 million people a day. That, Michelle, we will more rapidly progress. Right?
I would stop it right there.
Yep.
So she pointed out the difference between diabetes, and she specifically said that she was disappointed in how the government had rolled that out. Now, if you go back and look at the statistics, what group has the highest rate of diabetes? For Black people.
Sure.
So it was a political decision, even down to the very breakdown as to who was going to be able to be vaccinated, what group, and who would not be.
Yep. So, listen, I gotta say to anybody who's been watching the Dr. Chris video, like, how could you not at least be open to ask her questions, right? So, and toward the end of it, she talks about that, right? She says, this is a personal journey for everybody. People have to figure it out, but she just wants to have you be informed, right? And so, and she, she gives her information. You can find her on Facebook, and you could DM her, you could tag her in a post, and she's pretty responsive. But how could you not? I mean, she's made herself accessible and vulnerable even, right? To answering questions and to giving information. So what I would say for anybody who's still questioning, well, my first thing is go see your doctor, or, if you've been to a doctor sometime in your life, I'm imagining, right? Or your children have. So go to whoever that doctor is and ask them. But then also, communicate with Dr. Chris. I mean, unless you think she's part of the Illuminati, right? So, you understand what I'm saying? So I had a very, and I know we're running over a little bit, Diane. Diane always keeps me on point. But I got to say this. I had a conversation with my cousin yesterday, and I was furious with him because he started, spouting that Illuminati stuff. And I said to him, I said, so I want to ask you a question. I said, so we have a couple of doctors in our family, right? And my daughter's on her way to medical school. So I said, so is Lucy like is she enrolling in the Illuminati? Like our family men like is that like what are you talking about? Like so are they a part of this big scheme? So they're scheming against us too now? And he couldn't answer the question because when you get that close, like as long as you're talking about the pharmaceutical industry or the medical industry, right? Then it's like the boogeyman, the industry. But when you now say, no, 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 go to individuals that you know their names, you've known them for years, right? They've treated you or your children. That's different, right? Because now you got to say, well, wow, so when they were treating me, they were trying to kill me, right? Or you got to say, well, you know what? They were trying to save me. They were trying to help me. They were trying to inform me then. Why would they be trying to kill me now?
Because they're part of the system now, man.
Yeah.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, man. So just go figure it out, guys. Keep searching for information. I'm sorry?
I mean, when people, I don't know the conversation, the depths of your conversation yesterday, but what you talked about yesterday, the different states like Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done some horrific
Some
things
heinous things.
medically to people.
Yes.
And so, yeah, there are people that have serious doubts about what's going on, but we have to understand with all our faculties of what we're facing today is something totally different. I mean, we have our fears about the medical industry and how they've done our people, especially in North Carolina, Mississippi, and Alabama. So, people are going to be skeptical.
But you know what though, Mike? But we have people like Dr. Chris, right? Like for me, I'm like, yo, we got people like that on the front line, right? Who's got our back, who's giving us information, right? She's on the inside. She knows she can break this down.
See, the thing God bless you for having these conversations, Eric. But everybody don't have an Eric Dawson to be the conduit to this lady.
Yeah.
Share the show. Share the show, brother, to everybody.
Oh my God!
We put Eric Dawson in everybody's living room, bro.
You can marginalize people in the best way. I want you to understand that. I want you to really understand how you marginalize people. We're talking a larger thing, and you're marginalizing it to me sharing the show like I don't share the show. Come on, man.
Okay, not saying that you specifically, but saying share the show. Everybody who's listening, share the show. Social media has a way of bringing viral the most important information without going through commercial or standard media outlets. Share the show. It was not my intent to marginalize your comment. My intent was to maximize the importance of everybody having this information.
Thanks for correcting me.
No, thanks for giving me the opportunity to express my thoughts, because sometimes they can be a bit over the top.
So we're gonna play the we're gonna get through the rest of it tomorrow, guys. But I'm gonna do another watch party of it so that you can see it in its entirety. And then what I'm gonna do is at the conclusion of playing it, I'm gonna give Dr. Chris a call and see if she would be kind enough to come on the show. I don't even know, let me pause. Kind's not the word I wanted to use. I'll just say whether she'll come on the show. So I'm gonna call her and see if she'll come on the show and then ask any question. And then if we can do that, I'm getting excited about this already. because I would like. I'm gonna say, look, if she'll do it, I literally will boost an ad on Facebook, right? For like a week or so, just letting everybody know, and then people can get their questions. But and then we'll try to organize it, and then get the questions to her so that she can run through those through answering those questions.
See, that's putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that. So thank you guys for tuning in.
What you gotta say? 4:00.
Yes, what you got? Listen, I'm gonna be running my mouth about this inauguration at 4 o'clock on a Zoom on what you got to say, which is gonna be on YouTube, and I'll be broadcasting it on my page as well. So you guys tune in. We'll be there with the wise ones.
Three wise ones.
The wise ones. So it's going to be a spirited conversation, and I'm going to be in my ADOS gear for this one.
And the revolution will not be televised.
No, well,
it will stream though.
It will stream today. Thank you guys. Stay blessed. Stay masked up. Keep your social distancing. Wash your hands. Use your sanitizer. Do all of those things. And if it's God's will, we'll be back here tomorrow and we'll continue the conversation. Love you all.
God bless. Stay safe. Love you. All right, Eric, I gotta return this call from the network.
I don't know. I can't end the show right now.
Well, let me say this. While
Go ahead while I'm trying to figure out how to end the show.
You got to come up with an appropriate hashtag for your when you redo this so that you can affect the algorithm.
You know what, Mike? We'll try to figure that out, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes I just do these shows, man, because I think that they're important. And I don't always, give thought to that. But
to the marketing.
Yeah, to the marketing of it. I just kind of get it going.